My name is Khou, and my connection to the state of Minnesota is I got married to my husband, and then I moved to Minnesota from Wisconsin. And I've been in the Southwest region now for about almost 10 years. So I'm in Lyon County, and then I'm from Tracy, Minnesota. So it's a relatively small town, small community. I believe we're sitting at about 2,000 or so. I've grown to love this area. And, a part of me sometimes will say I want to go back to the Twin Cities or at least relatively close to there. But there's a sweet part of living in the rural. And I do enjoy living in the rural. Never would imagine that I'd say that, but I was actually born in Thailand in the refugee camps. We were sponsored by my grandparents, who was already in Menominee. They've been in Menominee for, I think, a couple years already. And then, so they sponsored us, and we landed in Eau Claire, Wisconsin at their little small regional airport. And then my parents have just stayed in Menominee all their life. We noticed that the population down here we have a good amount of Hmong families in the area. Um, we actually have been in the area for at least 20 years. And, you know, being that long into a setting or a surrounding, you would imagine that there are things that are in place in order to kind of support and empower that community, but it hasn't been. Um, I think we talk a lot about like how to get your citizenship, or how to properly, if you're a hunter, how do you go into public and private land, or what are the rules and how do we
Right.
stay in line with that. We're seeing that like a lot of the younger generation were having you know a lot of miscommunication with their parents because they're fighting this world of where their friends want to be cool and they want to be cool, but then they come home and then a lot of what they hear at home is, oh, we want you to be traditional, we want you to be a good girl, that kind of thing. So it was kind of like a fight of two worlds. And so, how do we bridge that gap so that we continue to have better relationships within our families? How do we get our parents engaged with, their kids' education? How do we continue to keep what are being passed down culturally, and then also navigate that through the new things that our younger generation is coming forth with. Initially when we had these conversations, we talked about like how do we truly empower our community to be better for the overall community. How do we as our Hmong community do better so that we can continue to contribute to the community that we are in. Traditionally, all the leadership that has happened in the past have just been older men. They serve 4-year terms, so it alternates between different leaders. And then I would be the first female ever. I think the older generation are really kind of ready to hand off the hats to kind of allow for the younger generation to step in and do their part and everything too.
Mhm.
So I think that also was a part of it. Now, what I do say is I didn't go into that meeting expecting to get anything. So it's definitely a shock that I even got it or got nominated. I don't believe that because I'm a woman, like it sets me back far further from a man, because I think I'm generally a very competitive person. So the moment that someone tells me that, I'd be like, oh, well, let me show you. There's a importance in valuing yourself and allowing others to see that. And it just takes knowing who you are to find where you belong in this world. I work for a U.S. bank currently, and I work as a leasing specialist in their collateral department. And that's kind of my job outside of all the other things that I do. I think the challenge is really having a balance of everything. Aside from, being a mother, and then I do a little bit of photography on the side, and editing photos, and then also this work that I do with the community. So much of it takes up so much time. Um, I think what I believe in is like to give people your all, your friendship, and you do everything with all your heart. I have a passion for helping others, and helping others as in like making sure that they have their basic necessities in terms of, I think it comes from the fact that I have I'm a refugee. My parents are refugees, and we always had to now try to navigate um, whatever is in front of us. Like from a really young age, I always had to go with my mom to go translate at like the age of like 7. And so this like passion and want to like help people be able to help them help themselves, not do things for people, but then also
Right.
give the building blocks and resources so that they can continue to help other people. And again, the only thing that I ask for them is that for them to pass their knowledge and their, what they know to other people as well. You have your own personal dream that you have, and you have your, community, the work you do type of dream. And I think that um, for myself, I have um, a dream of, you know, eventually owning a business in the wedding industry, which is totally 360 from all this community stuff. But a girl can dream. Well, from the community perspective, I think success to me would be like if I'm able to help build um, both structurally and also system wise something in the Southwest here that would support and empower the Hmong community down here for years to come, for my grandchildren to be able to use and continue to carry on. That would be something that I would call success. I would want them to know or remember me by the fact that I always did everything with intention and with truth to who I am as a person. I think that would be it. People might not want to know about Khou Lor that's in Southwest Minnesota, but hey, they might know about her now.